unkillable 3U. Like, True-Name wins races in Grixis Delver, like, when we back it up with 8 lightning bolts, it seems pretty good. I really hope at some point something changes. We'll see. I don't know. There's plenty of people that like Legacy how it is, but yeah, that seems fine, right? I think I actually want to hold the Gitaxian Probe for now because we have prowess triggers. It's also like the worst blue card in my hand, so I think I'm just gonna go like Volk, Delver, Go, and like if they give us something we need to force, we can force pitching Gitaxian Probe most likely. I don't think we could draw or see anything on the other side of the table that would change like what my turn 1 play is here. I suppose we could draw a Daze and have a second counter spell, but I don't think that's worth the potential downside there. Hey, Talrand with the 3-month resubscription. Thanks a lot and welcome back. I do appreciate that. I mean, people thought Sensei's Divining Top was never going to go away too, right? Like that card had been legal far longer than Deathrite Shaman was. I'm hoping to keep it up, chatters. Yep. Talrand was a good time. Randy. Alright, so Probe could be a whole lot of anything still. Wasteland. Yep. Okay. Alright, let's see if we get Legacied here or not. I do have, I did add a land to the deck. I went up to 17, so we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully we flip this and then, alright, well, not flipping to a land is pretty decent. I'm gonna go ahead and probe them just to see if I should be fetching another basic or not here. Doesn't look like I need to fetch another basic. Hey, Darth Mauls with the $4.99 resubscription. Thanks a lot and welcome back. I appreciate it. I have to screenshot their hand here because Moto is shit software. Took eggs to Worcester and finished 5-3-1. What does Legacy eggs even look like? I don't even know what to say to that. Alright, so I'm going to grab another Volk here just because I need blue and I do need double red for this at some point. Hopefully find more lands with this one. Hopefully like find a land and set the Delver flip up here. Oh, this is pretty good for us. It's a little awkward that I want to draw... Like I want the land and the Swiftspear next turn, but I want to flip the Delver to the Daze. So I think it's Swiftspear, then Daze, then Volk, and then we'll go ahead and we'll draw here. We'll go ahead and smack with this. So they have Brainstorm, Delver, Sea Delta, Pyromancer. I might be in the market. I guess we probably Daze their Pyromancer. How's it going? What's going on, Nox Across? Everyone's having a good night. Not one of our normal stream times, but just hanging out, playing some Legacy here this evening. So we're going to flip this bad Mamma Jamma to a Daze here. We're going to bolt this dork. I'd love to reveal this Daze. Alright. Bolt your idiot. We know the entirety of their hand right now. If they want to force this, we get to Daze them. I'm going to go ahead and cast this Ponder just for the sake of being resource efficient. I just want to get as many instants and sorceries into my discard pile as possible. I think I actually want to shuffle these. I just want to generate more velocity towards my Bedlam Reveler here, I think. I'm also like kind of looking for another piece of removal because I assume they're going to play through my Daze this turn. They can play Delver. Are they just leading on Brainstorm? So if they lead on Brainstorm without playing a land, I'm dazing it. Like, that's not close. It's a quick league because it's an 0-3 deck. No, it's a quick league because I don't think I plan to play another league after this. I don't know. We'll see how quick it is. If we have, like, a burn you out under an hour league, maybe we'll play another. But I'm leaning towards not right now. Just because we're going to have a long stream tomorrow. And I'm a little bit tired, but figured I was going to... Ooh, that's really good. Alright, well, let's lead on Swiftspear. And then Let's bolt this, and then if they force my bolt, I'll force their force. Hey, -3 Karn with the 3-month resubscription. Thanks a lot and welcome back. I appreciate the continued support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to everyone. As always, my subs, y'all are great. So they have... what are their cards in hand right now? They have Brainstorm, Force, Young Pyromancer, and then one card I don't know currently. This is the upside to playing 8 bolts in this deck. Like, not only is it a lot of reach, but like in these small creature mirrors, it gives us a lot of removal. Okay, so they're forcing here. They forced pitch probes. They still have a Brainstorm. So if they Brainstorm here, we could get into trouble if they hit Daze, but I think this is worth fighting over. And like at a minimum, I'm getting prowess triggers, right? So like even if these things don't resolve, they're still like worth 1 point of damage. And like I'm gonna get 2 instants and source in my discard pile here, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So like if they counter this force, this Bedlam Reveler will probably resolve and gas me back up. I mean, Grixis Delver, the Grixis Delver player that won the tournament beat lands, elves, and miracles in the top 8, right? Just like thrashed 3 bad matchups for Delver. Which is just a great commentary on the format in the deck. It's like, oh, there were all these decks that were so good against Grixis Delver, and Grixis Delver just mowed them down. Ooh, that's really bad for us. That's really bad for us. All right, a big fish too. Okay, so they have Gurmag Anglers, their last card, but that means if they don't have a live one on top of their deck, this Delver just kills them in 2, right? They're also dead to Bolt and Chain Lightning here. Gotcha. Their last card should be Young Pyromancer, I believe. I guess they Brainstormed, so they could have a Bolt here. This is a little... I forgot they Brainstormed, so they could have something. So I should have attacked first before I cast this. I played my first Open yesterday, came close to 6-3, I lost last round to Grixis Delver. I had a great time. I'm looking forward to the next. I also played the Modern Classic today. Awesome. Yeah, playing big Magic tournaments is fun. All right, so speaking of Grixis Delver, that's what our opponent is playing here, right? So Blood Moons and Vapor Snags are certainly coming in. I think this is a Fireblast out matchup. Is this a Hydroblast Pyroblast matchup? I feel like it might be. I feel like I just like don't really want these counter spells. Maybe I want to force. Like their true names are kind of annoying. I wonder how I feel about this. I feel like we're a little bit ahead in terms of like forcing each other just because we can recover the card disadvantage via Bedlam Reveler, which is nice. Oh, Grim Lavamancer is pretty good here, right? Yeah, Price of Progress is excellent. They don't have basic lands in their deck usually. Just like deal 2 to them for every land they have in play. Sounds quite good. Something that's worth noting for those that are newer to Legacy or Magic in general is that Blood Moon Price of Progress is not a non-bow. This does not turn non-basic lands into basic mountains. They are mountains, but they are still non-basic. So this still domes my opponent for a lot under a Blood Moon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna board in these 6 cards, and I'm gonna cut. I'm boarding in 7 cards. What else did I board in? Oh, I'm boarding in 8 cards, actually. I'm boarding in these, and I'm cutting these. What else did I board out? Oh, this I'm not boarding in. So I'm boarding in these 7, and I'm cutting these 7. Submit like this. Yeah, I think the blasts are better than Flusterstorms in this matchup, but I could see that going in either direction, really. I also might reassess how we're playing the game when we're on the play. Like, Daze is a little bit more valuable on the play, so I might be a little bit more aggressive with that. What's going on, folks? Life is swell. Just hanging out, playing some Legacy. No, I think Needle for the 3 Shaman's a little too narrow. I'd rather just kill it. Do you own every super? Christy keeps buying me superhero t-shirts. I don't know. It feels like Nerdist, right? She's like, you're a nerd, you should have superhero t-shirts. What about the Elves deck? What about the Elves deck gives it a traditionally good Delver matchup? Their ability to just go wide is particularly good on average. Alright, so maybe I don't want to play my Delver on one because it just gives them a target for this bolt. Of course, they're probably going to have a target for this bolt regardless, so maybe I just want to make it my Delver. I drew a second Delver. Alright, yep. Let's just run out my little blue mana as an offering here. Probably going to eat the bolt and die, but we'll see. If you considered it's because your wife thinks you're a superhero. Maybe. I love when people Gitaxian Probe me because it lets me auto pass. On Magic Online, you have to like sit there and bluff Force and Daze, and you're playing a Force Daze deck. And like when they probe you, you can just be like, "Yeah, I don't have to bluff anything. Press my F6." All right, so our next turn, we need to find a way to kill these insectile aberrations. We're gonna play another Delver here, so we're gonna Brainstorm to start next turn almost certainly, and then probably crack Scalding Tarn for a basic mountain, and then Lightning Bolt or Chain Lightning, one of these two, assuming that we draw one of those. Four shots at our 8 removal spells. I guess we have Pyroblast in our deck too, right? Sweet. Since I drew that, I'm actually just going to... I would rather this Delver of Secret get dazed than my Pyroblast get dazed here. So I'm going to lead on the Pyroblast and then play the Delver second. Because I would much rather the Pyroblast resolve than my Delver resolve. It feels like with the start of my opponent hand, we're more controlling deck right now, so I'm trying to keep my opponent from killing us as opposed to vice versa. We're typically the more aggressive deck, but this is where role assessment comes into play pretty importantly. That's annoying. It's pretty good against us, so what do we know about their hand? They've played C, they've played Delta, they've played Bolt, they've played Delver, so they have second Delta plus Diabolic Edict and then one card we don't know. We're going to get 4 looks at a Bolt or a Blast or a Chain Lightning to kill this next turn. They drew another Bolt. That's actually pretty good for us. I think I'd rather they kill that than us, but this does mean they have the Edict to deal with the True-Name Nemesis potentially, which kind of sucks. So hopefully we rip a piece of removal to deal with this Insectile Aberration, and then we'll have time to set up to play around their stuff here, hopefully. Let's start with this. Perfect. So I think I'm actually just going to fetch away this True Name since it's not particularly good in the face of their Edict. Although I suppose if they burn the Edict on the True Name, then they're not burning the Edict on the Bedlam Reveler. So from that perspective, yeah, I'm actually just going to pitch the Force. Yeah, I'm just going to pitch the Force. Play this. Chain Lightning this guy. I've got 1, 2, 3. This will be 4 instants and sorceries in my graveyard. Maybe I'm supposed to keep the Force. Maybe I misstacked that. Maybe I'm supposed to put this Tarn back, or this Delta back, and keep the Force to, like, force their play so that my hand is empty to cast Bedlam Reveler the following turn. I could see that being the correct line as well. I'm going to prioritize just continuing to fetch basics here. Yeah, I think so. Because like they're going to play a Gurmag Angler here, or a True Name of their own. Yeah, so actually I'm actually in a lot of trouble because of my mistake there. Yeah, that was actually a pretty big mistake. Okay, and I realized that I made the mistake as soon as we made it, but I think we're going to be too slow against this. I guess we could rip our Price of Progress and get them, right? That could be a line. All right. I mean, sure. We do have to play through this Edict here, but we might be a little bit slow. What decks do you think can combat Delver? So the problem is that it's not just Delver that you have to beat. Even when Delver is oppressive, it's still only at most a quarter of the format. Is the issue that it comes down to. I mean, I think we're still losing this game. Like this is the start of winning, but I'm pretty sure we're still losing here. Yeah. So like I get this basic mountain. Yeah, I think we're still just dead actually. I think we're still just dead. I suppose this hits them for like 7. We can rip the second Price of Progress to kill them potentially. So we're going to 3 here. And yeah, so my sequencing mistake on the Brainstorm is actually going to cost us this game, right? Because, like, if I would have kept the Force and been able to force this, my Bedlam would have traded for their Diabolic Edict, but would have drawn 3 cards, and that likely would have been more than enough to propel us to victory this game. It's fine. We did win the first game, so I'm going to get to play the next game on the play. So if this effectively hits them for 7, because I would assume they're going to crack this, fetch, and fail to find, so they'll go to 10, and this will put them... So I shouldn't even show them that I have this card in my deck, because even if I draw another Price of Progress next turn, we're not going to win the game, because we'll only be able to do 7. Yeah, so if I would have used my Force of Will accordingly there, we would have won that game pretty handily. Most likely would have won the game. I think I want some Dazes on the play, although Daze on the play with these Blood Moons and True Names in my deck is a little less appealing. Maybe I'm just going to run it back. Yeah, I'm just going to run it back. I think I'm pretty happy with what I have. It's probably fine. It's not super exciting, but it's fine. Maybe I'm just supposed to mulligan hands that don't have threats in it. Could see that being the case. I'm gonna lead on Pond. I have Ponder, which is kind of a threat, right? Maybe I'm supposed to lead on the Volk there. I'm gonna shuffle a no threat find there. Leading on the Volk is appealing because then I can't bolt plus Monastery Swiftspear on turn 2 here. There's merit to Daze being on the play versus being on the draw, but I just don't think it's large enough upside to actually bring it in. Let's see what their turn 1 is here. We can bolt or Pyroblast, whatever it is. We haven't played a Birthing Pod deck anytime recently. Definitely bolting that one. I'm going to go ahead and go Volk, bolt this, play around a Daze. Sometimes people leave those in when they're on the draw. You can take a timeout, Matthew. You can take a timeout. You're more poisonous than half the people in this channel. Alright. Blood Moon's pretty appealing. I'm probably not quite ready for this Bedlam Reveler yet. So I'm gonna fetch one of these away, right? I'm going to... Yeah, so I think I want to stack this, and say no shuffle. I want to hide the Blood Moon in case they have Probe Therapy. And then next turn we can go crack for Island, cast Blood Moon. It could be a Stifle deck, I suppose, but there's no way I'm not going for this here. Spell Pierce, sure. I think that's worth going for it there. We'll see. Yeah, like, the upside is pretty high, and the downside is kind of low. We just, like, lose some tempo, basically. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see a Spell Pierce there. Like, that's definitely a card that they have access to. Wait on this Ponder. So this is our 4th spell in the graveyard here. I think you go blasting me. I feel like they might be thinking about blasting me here. It feels like they don't have a lot going on and they're just like putting cards in the bin. Maybe they have a Gurmag Angler they're trying to set up for. If they have a Gurmag Angler, blasting this cantrip seems reasonable. And that makes me happy that I let on the Ponder as opposed to the Delver. Yeah, they kept a pretty reactive hand, so it makes me feel like their threat's probably Gurmag, which means this Vapor Snag's probably going to be quite excellent. And, like, we are getting low on gas here, but, like, we have 3 Bedlam Revelers in our deck to find, along with a bunch of cantrips to help us find it, ideally. We're not even super poor against a True Name here, since we have the Pyroblast in our hand. Yeah, Vapor Snag's very good against elf creatures. I could even see playing a second. Vapor Snags can save our creatures from removal, as well as takes Merit Liege and elf creatures off the table. I mean, we have a card that's better than Treasure Cruise. Treasure Cruise gets Red Blasted. Is this Liliana? No, it's a Dismember. Huh. Do I want to save this? Yeah, I think I do. I think I want to just save this. Puts another thing in my bin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I draw Bedlam, I can go Delver plus Bedlam. I'm going to play Probe for mana here. Preserve my health total a little bit. There are cards we could draw that would punish us for this, but... Alright, Edict, Daze. Hand's pretty good. Hand is pretty good. Brainstorm. Yeah, definitely going to lean on that, right? Put this back. Put this back. Play this. Play him a Delver. Pass the turn. You got 6 points of reach on top of the deck. This is probably getting Edicted. Unsure. Maybe they just assumed we boarded out Daze. Maybe they're ghosting and know we boarded out Daze. How is our Grixis Delver matchup? Don't know. Haven't played it enough. Probably not amazing. Grixis Delver doesn't really have bad matchups. It's the best deck in the format. So they have Edict, True-Name, Force. I guess I should have floated red, right? I assume they drew a blue card here. I think Turbo Dex is a reasonable combo deck. I think it's one of the better combo decks in the format. Well, that worked out really well for us. So he says. Ooh. 17 lands in our deck. They couldn't have drawn a blue card, they drew a Wasteland. Good catch. Their hand is Forced Edict Trop. Good call. Good call. So they just jammed for no reason there. Yep. Actually have that up to the side on my screen here, but you are correct. That Brainstorm is exactly why we held this mountain. Yeah, he's dead, Jim. Alright, looking for a Bedlam Reveler, chat. Looking for a Bedlam Reveler. True-Name of our own would also do. Okay. Yeah, put this back, play Swiftspear, play Delver, smash. I guess I'm going to attack with the Swiftspear first, just in case they have removal. So their hand is Trop, Force, and then one card we don't know. Since they played the Diabolic Edict. This is going to flip to a Gitaxian Probe next turn. And then unfortunately that Gitaxian Probe is going to draw the basic mountain that's on top of our deck, but it is what it is. It'll still give us a prowess trigger here. And then there's 3 Bedlam Revelers in 37 cards, so hopefully we can find our way to one of those. Force, Pitch Force. Okay, so their last card is whatever it's called, Tropical Island. Just gonna go ahead and cast this for blue mana this turn. So more than half the top 8 was Grixis, Delver, and touch more than the top 32. Does this mean the legacy format is healthy and diverse with no need? Sorry if you've already given your thoughts on that. I mean, Trop Misty, God bless. God bless us, everyone. Smack you for 2. How do I join the subs Discord? Details for that are here. This is my hand. My hand is quite embarrassing, but I have a dork on the board, so if both of our hands are bad, but I have a dork on the board, we're slightly ahead by a slim margin. Oh no, they've added a Dorcas of their own. Bedlam Reveler. Cantrip. Yeah. Alright, Cash Treasure Cruise. Oh yeah. How do we feel about that one, chat? Anyone else need a cigarette? Smoke if you got 'em. Smoke if you got 'em. Alright. Alright. Your move, Yugi boy. Reveler is very good, and I think this deck is in a very good position to take advantage of what Reveler can do, which is why I wanted to try it some more. Oh no, it's got a drawback and a deck building restriction. Just let you know that I had these already. Did you? Oh, there's more candy on top. Look at that. Look at that. All right, sweet. So punted the second game, but was able to come back and win in the third game. This deck seems sweet. Deck seems sweet. Taste it. Deck gets to play basic lands. It's got a quick clock. It gets to play Force of Will. Checks most of the boxes I want to check in Legacy. Is this keepable? It's a little clunky, right? Around the draw. It's got a threat and a Brainstorm and a blue land, so it's probably a keep. Arid Mesa. Burn? Burn? Tundra? Stoneblade? No, I just conceded the rest of the matches. I wasn't really interested in playing more of that deck. Gitaxian Probe is really sweet when it does a damage, by the way. If you've never experienced your Gitaxian Probes doing a damage, it's wonderful. Yeah, it looks like another fair deck. Probably a Stoneblade deck of some sort. A Nomad182 with the 3-month resubscription to more and more of the smartest, thinnest standing streamer. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. They do, in fact, appear to be a Stoneblade deck. If we draw a force, I'm going to force their cantrip next turn. Ooh. Ooh. Hopefully we'll make them pay for their progress a little bit here. The deck we're playing is certainly a fair deck. It's an aggressive deck, but as far as like things in Legacy are concerned, it's certainly on the fair side of the scale. So I'm gonna play this out. Am I gonna Brainstorm here? Yeah, I probably don't mind having to redraw one of these two things. If we draw another Monastery Swiftspear, I would like to be able to floop it into play. I'm gonna play my thing, sure. Hey, Marco Olympics with that brand new Twitch Prime support. Thanks for sending your Amazon fun money this way this month. I do appreciate that. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support my content here. All right, that's a force. So I probably need this force to force a true name if they play one next turn, right? They're going to be able to force me back, though, which kind of sucks. So I don't want the second Bedlam Reveler in my hand, but I'm going to have to redraw whichever card I put directly on top. So we'll redraw this Brainstorm next turn, and we'll hold this one to pitch to force. Lands isn't good against Grixis Delver. Let me rephrase. Lands isn't good against good Grixis Delver players. Lands is this awkward deck that people keep playing for some reason that doesn't actually have fantastic matchups in the format. Search for Azcanta. Interesting. Okay. Nice, Pokemonkey. Congrats. The Counterflux is just kind of slow and clunky. I can't really force this because they have a Spell Pierce in their hand. They have a Spell Pierce in their hand. I'm going to... So there's a Bedlam on top of my deck. I guess I'm just going to lead on this Brainstorm anyways. Yeah, I don't think lands is a very good deck in Legacy. Not a fan of lands in Legacy. Genuinely think it's poorly positioned. It just, like, isn't... Or it's not even about being positioned. I just don't even think it's that good. Like, you should listen to the winner's interview. Go back on SCG stream and listen to the winner interview with the person that won the Open. And he talks about lands not being a very bad matchup. And I'm inclined to agree with him with my experience. Alright, so they've cast a Brainstorm. So we don't necessarily know all the cards in their hand, because they could have brainstormed some of them away at this point, but... I mean, that's every format in Magic, right? Like, Legacy, even when there's a deck like Grixis Delver that's much better than everything else in the format, is always going to be fairly diverse for two reasons. One, there's lots of people just playing the deck that they love to play, and two... it's expensive to change decks, not only in terms of monetary cost, but it takes a lot of time and effort to relearn playing a new deck in the format. Okay, they are playing a Stoneforge Mystic deck. All right, I'm going to force this, pitching the Delver, I think. I wouldn't be surprised to get forced back, but I just want to start putting things in my bin for this Bedlam Reveler, basically. Like, this is going to be spell number 4, so I can actually play this Bedlam Reveler next turn. So they have 2 cards left. I assume at least one of them is True-Name. I think I'm going to upkeep Brainstorm in response to my Delver trigger. Just to force the flip so we can try and run them down. Okay, so I'm going to put... The price isn't very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I keep the Delver, I actually can't play it and Bedlam Reveler this turn, so I don't want to keep that. I think I'd rather just discard a land. So I'm going to go ahead and put back Delver, put back Price of Progress, and we'll flip this Delver to Price of Progress. Yes. And then we'll draw that for the turn, and we're going to have to discard that, which is fine, I think. I mean, okay, so that's... With enough people playing enough other decks, yes, things other than the best deck are going to top 8. I top 8'd a bunch of opens with Kiki Chord in Modern. That didn't mean Kiki Chord was good in Modern. It just meant I loved playing the deck and played it enough to eventually end up in the top 8. Like, I hate people that respond with a deck's good because of a specific result, don't understand what makes decks actually good, bad, and otherwise. That was not an ideal Bedlam Reveler, you could argue. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there were only 10 lands left in our deck, and we just drew 3 of them there. Just drew 3 of them. I don't think we're going to be able to beat this Umezawa's GTA and this True-Name Nemesis game 1 here. So, probably going to have to pack it in. Yeah, I'm just going to concede to this True-Name, I think, and just save me. Oh, we're just snap plowing me? Sure, deal. Man, if we would have actually, like, drawn some spells here, we would be in a pretty good spot. Maybe we'll draw Brainstorm and, like, draw 3 spells. Already threw 3 Brainstorms, though. Chain Lightning. Yeah, I'm just going to pack it in. There's no way. I'm just gonna ban you. I hate fucking people like you. I don't understand people's need or desire to, like, shit on people's results based on where they're playing at. Like, were people not watching the plethora of mistakes that got made in the mocks this weekend from top level players, or, like, the number of mistakes that get made even in Pro Tour top 8s in high pressure situations? Like, there's so many people out there that they just like to drop their pants and then just take a big dump on people that play in Star City Opens. Just like, and a lot of them have never played in an Open, to save their life. Just like everybody else shits on the people that play on opens, I should shit on them too. Just mistakes happen everywhere. Magic has really complicated and has a lot of things going on. Yes. So like to just try and say results aren't valid or results are bad because of you know where they came from. Yes, there's a difference between your 30-person tournament at your LGS and a major tournament, but opens have hundreds or in some cases 1,000+ players at them. You have to win a lot of Magic to do well in one of those events. A lot of Magic. All right, I think I want to do this. I don't think I can afford... Maybe Vapor Snag. Vapor Snag's probably actually not good here, right? I'm going to leave another force in. Hey, Zerglish with the 15-month resubscription. Get wrecked, trolls. That's our motto around here. Thanks a lot and welcome back. I appreciate it. I don't think I want Flusterstorm here. Maybe I just want the Fireblast for the extra gitches. Yeah, I want the Fireblast. We're in the... Maybe I just want a couple of Dazes, actually. We're on the play. I'm just going to leave some Dazes in on the play. Seems pretty good. Bulk Swiftspear, get you. Yeah. So, like, I feel like Magic players in general are, like, really willing to accept that, like, Magic's a variance game, so, like, a good player with a good deck can fail to do well in a tournament. But, like, they like, refuse to accept the opposite, where, like, variance also means that a bad player with a mediocre deck can top 8 a tournament if they're running well. Hey, who's a Johnny with that brand new Twitch Prime support? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks for sending your Amazon fun money this way this month. Are they playing Gitaxian Probe in their deck? That's fine. Do you have any advice for playing in opens? The same as my advice for playing in any Comp REL event. Know the rules. Communicate well. You could never over communicate while playing a Comp REL tournament. Hopefully we're just gonna get to run them out this game here on the play with this Daze and these burn spells. Did they shuffle their Ponder? They did shuffle their Ponder. Ooh, we might catch them with their pants down, chat. We might get them with their pants firmly around their ankles. That would be sweet. All right, Ponder, trigger. I like when my Ponder deals damage. It's my favorite type of Ponder. Oh, geez. That's... Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to keep all those. Nope. Let's play this, and then we'll Daze their force. Needed a good Hoogle rant to start off my week with. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for the Bitskater. And, like, I don't play a lot of open series tournaments anymore because I'm just, like, not playing Paper Magic tournaments as much. But, like, you know, I had some personal stake in that. Just, like, people that felt the need to, like, shit on my hard work and accomplishments just because they, like, didn't like the tournament series that I played in. Like, that's really rude. So they're hoping for a cantrip or a land tier. Just dunzo. All right. I'm gonna cut this Daze and bring this Fireblast back in and bring a Force of Will in here on the draw. Daze is a little bit worse on the draw for sure. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it there. Submit. And that's true for most people, Q. Most people that attend opens and Grand Prix are people that just happen to live in the same area where that Open or Grand Prix takes place. The percentage of people that fly to any major Magic tournament is exceedingly small. It's a very, very small percentage of the player base that's flying to play in a tournament. A very, very small percentage, whether it's a Grand Prix or an Open. See if they have a plow here or not. Yeah, looks like it. I live in Ireland, have to fly to every tournament. Gross. Are you getting bolted? They have bolts in their deck? Weird. Okay, so like full on Jeskai then. I don't have much money. You should play a deck building game or something that's not Magic. Magic is an expensive luxury hobby. Or you should talk to your friends and you should play just proxy Magic with them. But if you're looking to play Magic competitively, it's really difficult to do on a budget. Their hand's pretty good. They kept a one-lander again, drew a second land right away. I guess I can Pyroblast this Search for Azcanta, right? So that's pretty good for us. That's great. Swiftspear. Don't expect them to Blood Moon us, so I'm just going to play Swiftspear and then blast this. Their hand right now is Brainstorm, EE, 2 Pyroblast. Or play Pauper, sure. But I mean, like, Pauper's mostly a casual format. Your thoughts on counterfeit MTG cards? I think as people still have a desire to play Legacy and there's less and less dual lands that are more and more expensive, counterfeits will get better and they'll be more prevalent. And that's Wizards of the Coast's fault. People want to play their game and they want to spend money to play their game. Wizards of the Coast should give them the cards. Like, people want to give Wizards of the Coast money to play their game. And Wizards of the Coast is like, nah, dog, it's fine, reserve list. What is this? Okay, EE. Did they miss on a land here? That's so good for us. Jeez, could you imagine if we find a smash to Smithereens here? Do we find a smash? Bedlam's pretty good. So this is spell number 1, 2, 3. This is spell number 4. Smash to Smithereens, please. Oh, jeez. What's it like to be whitelisted, Hogland? What's it like to be whitelisted? It feels good, chat. That's what it's like. Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Get him. Null Rod and Pithing Needle were also fine draws there, but Smash was the best. Just break all their toys! Break all their toys! Yeah, man. Search for Azcanta resolves. How will I ever keep up with all your value? Oh no, not the second Bedlam kind of sucks. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is spell number 5. So I'll be able to cast a Bedlam next turn, which is great. Have a good night, Perfree. Thanks for stopping by. Ooh, we drew Force of Will. Or wait, did we? No, we didn't. That was just the weird Chain Lightning stuff. All right, so they're going to 2 here. They can blast my Delver, but the Swiftspear is still running amok, and we're going to have a Bedlam Reveler windmill next time. I mean, there's degrees of competitive formats, though. Like, more money generally means more competitive. Wouldn't mind a land or a 1-mana spell here. Null Rod. That's actually pretty awkward because I have to play it here, but it means I can't play Bedlam Reveler. But I don't want to play Bedlam Reveler and discard this because, like, their artifacts are their best way to get back in this game. So their hand right now is Pyroblast, Pyroblast, and then 2 cards I don't know. Ooh, that's pretty bad for us. So that means that they're going to Pyroblast this one, and then they're going to have 1 card left I don't know. Alright. So hopefully we draw a 1-mana instant or sorcery and a land next turn, and then we get to play Bedlam and then gas up. Brainstorm would actually be really sweet, because then we could Brainstorm our second Bedlam to the top of our deck. I kind of wish I had Price of Progress in my deck right now. Having this card on the table, though, is pretty good insurance against their cards to let them get back into this game, though. We also just have, like, you know, a bunch of bolts in our deck. Pithing Needle. Is that a good one? What do you think about that one, chat? Oh, this means I can't play the Bedlam Reveler again, right? This does mean I can't play the Bedlam Reveler, which is a little awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, just constantly 1 short here. Force of Will, sure. Whoa, that's aggressive. All right. Oh, the pit's a Flusterstorm, sure. So they're not a 5 here. I guess the card disadvantage is kind of a wash there, right? Because they drew it for free off the Azcanta. 1 mana spell. Land, deal. Hey, the Napcast with the brand new $4.99 subscription. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. As always, subscriptions are the best way you can support my content here. And even if they counterspell this one, I like have a backup one for next turn, so that's nice. Brainstorm, sure. I think I'm going to fetch in response to this trigger. Well, I guess I could draw a Brainstorm, so I'm not going to do that. Are they brainstorming too? So they're just like desperate to find a force here? I kind of hope they force us, and then we get to play the other Bedlam next turn. Kind of hope they force us. Puts them down to 4 as well, makes Fireblast lethal. Null Rod hopefully doing God's work here, just like making their Batterskulls. And I guess Batterskull's still pretty good, right? If someone's on the fence about getting into MTGO, what is your advice? My advice is that the MTGO marketplace is super fluid, especially compared to paper Magic. You can sell your Magic Online cards back for cash, usually for somewhere between 70 and 80% their value to a vendor, as opposed to the 50 to 60% you get if you're lucky on a Magic buy list. So there's less risk associated with buying into Magic Online than there is with buying into paper Magic. So if you get into it and you find you're not enjoying it, you can sell back out. Hopefully we don't get Terminus or Verdict here, but if neither of those things happen, we should be in an okay spot, especially with the unblockable fish here. Legacy staples are normally 90. Yeah, see, like that's nice. Like the higher demand cards even sell for more. Sure. All right. Well, we're not getting Verdicted then, right? Yeah, MTGO Charge is great, and using code Hoagland PayPal, you can save 8% on your purchases with them. What you got here? True name of your own, sure. Okay, well, okay, so I put these back on top, play this Swiftspear, Gitaxian Probe them, see what's up, and then I get to draw this island and play the True Name if they don't have a sweeper. And, like, they're obligated to block the Bedlam here, so they're going to take 2 from the Swiftspear, which will make any future Lightning Bolts or the True Name next turn lethal. What's going on, Herodric? Pierce, Snapcaster Mage. Sure. Okay, so we get to smash here, and then if they don't draw a way to answer our True Name next turn, they'll be dead, because they have to take 2 here. And now they're dead to Fireblast and Chain Lightnings and Lightning Bolts and all sorts of other goodies that we could have. Magic Online in general is kind of expensive. We do actually have some open emote slots. This card is so good. Yeah, they're playing a Stoneblade deck. This card is so good. And by good, I mean annoying and obnoxious, but it's on my side of the table too, so I'll take it. Alright, so I don't think Search can find anything for 2 mana that answers my True Name, so they should be dead here. I guess they can snap plow their own creature to gain health. They can snap plow their own creature to gain health here. So they have Snapcaster, Spell Pierce as the 2 cards in their hand. Yeah, I'm just going to attack with this, and they're going to snap plow themselves, I assume here. Or maybe they have a Terminus they're going to try and Miracle into, but I assume this is snap plow, Snapcaster Mage, keep themselves at 2. Which gives them another redraw to potential, like, Supreme Verdicts or something like that. Yep. Yep. Your gain 2 resolves. 3 mana, not quite healing solve. Alright, your move. Survey says... dead, hopefully? Oh no! Oh no! So they're dead to any spell drawn then, right? Because the Swiftspear will get to... we'll get to prowess up. So any non-creature spell kills them. Another Swiftspear kills them. We know their last card is Spell Pierce right now. Chain Lightning will certainly do the trick. Yeah, this is a list that I said I would modify the other day. I thought about it and made some changes. We are currently 2-0 to start the night. Thank you to everyone who's hanging out here tonight while we play a quick league before I head to bed. This is not one of my normal stream nights, so it's going to be a quick one. Probably we're going to play the next 3 matches, which I guess we've already been on for an hour, so we'll see what quick is. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I stream Magic full-time on this channel. We stream anywhere between 4 and 7 days a week. If you're enjoying what you see, please consider subscribing on Twitch. My Twitch subscribers are the reason I'm able to do what I do as often as I do. You can also support my content by supporting my sponsors. MTGOtraders.com will have to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. If you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout, then you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com would love to buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. And finally, this stream is made possible by viewers like Anoronics and you. Anoronics would like to remind you to hit that follow button if you enjoy what you see. That one doesn't cost you anything, and it lets you know when I go live and with what. So we stream a lot of afternoons during the week, but also random mornings and evenings and stuff like that. We are 2-0 so far, and see how this blue-red Delver deck feels. We cut some of the cards that were less impressive in it and added more Bedlam Revelers because this card kept overperforming. We got a couple of true names in the main. I added a 17th land because I hate being greedy. Yeah, Hex's standard format isn't fantastic right now, and they don't really support any of their other constructed formats for me to play on demand, so I'm just not playing it. When their set 9 releases, I'll probably peek back into Hex for a couple hours a week and see how it feels, but I just don't like their current standard format. In terms of building mana bases, I'm very conservative. In terms of playstyle, we can argue greedy is like a way of life. But in terms of mana bases, I don't like losing games because I can't cast my spells. I don't like losing games because I can't cast my spells. I mean, Magic definitely gets more viewers than Hex, so we will definitely be streaming more Magic, even if I enjoy Hex too. But, like, the reason why I'm not playing any Hex at all right now, I've been playing, like, Overwatch, and I've been playing... I started playing Borderlands 2 with my wife a little bit, is just because Hex was always, like, my for-fun game. Like, I wasn't playing it to make money, and I'm just not having fun with it, so I'm not playing it right now. Look... Kiki-Jiki is always uncastable. Even when there's red lands in your deck, he's still largely uncastable. The Mono Blue Omniscience deck is sweet. I've played it a little bit more off-stream. I don't know if it's quite consistent or powerful enough. It's believe it or not, it has a really bad Delver matchup. It's bad against Grixis Delver, like all the combo decks in this format are, basically. Firelit Thicket, Voice of Resurgences, disagree, right? I don't actually know what Fortnite is. I don't know. Outside of, like, Magic, I'm definitely more casual when it comes to gaming. That's why we're, like, playing Overwatch. You get ghosted as often when you are streaming. It's weird. I never get ghosted when I'm not streaming. It's such a strange correlation. Please stream the Borderlands too. Maybe. We'll see. Christy's got a pretty busy month at work, so seems like Dece plus. Sure they're gonna like be playing a Lotus Petal deck and just kill us, but yeah, actually just a Lotus Petal deck. Okay. Sand's really bad against Reanimator. I have 2 Surgicals in my board and some Flusterstorms and stuff. Well, I guess we just go land go. Could be Manaless Dredge, could be Blackred Reanimator. Yeah, it's Blackred Reanimator. Black-Red Reanimator is more popular than Manaless Dredge. I probably should have let on Scalding Tarn to bluff a Force of Will. Maybe I'm just going to concede. If they put a thing into play, I'm just going to concede. Yeah, looks like they're just going to turn one us. This is their nut draw, right? Like this is like Legacy in a nutshell. There's decks that have, there's Grixis Delver, and then there's decks that try to do this to you. There's Chancellor, turn 1 Gristlebrand. Manaless Dredge does often play Chancellor, yes. So Flusterstorm, Hydroblast, Vapor Snag are all reasonable here. Fireblast is bad. Price is slow. You have 6 points of burn, they may draw 14. I think that's pretty unlikely. And they had a Chancellor trigger there, so I couldn't untap and 6 them. Maybe I should have played the Monastery Swiftspear on one to play into it, but we'll see. 110,000 subs. That's unreal. I have 750 subs currently, which is not a bad number. I'm very happy with that. We could draw Probe, sure. I think they're pretty unlikely to draw 14, but you're right. I didn't give them a chance to make a mistake. You are correct that I did not give my opponent a chance to fuck up. I just assumed my opponent was going to play Magic well and not lose the game. Cut Bedlam? I don't know. Like, I kind of want to kill my opponent, right? Kind of want to kill my opponent. Like, I don't feel like I can cut that many threats. I think I want to cut True-Name before I cut Bedlam. I think I want to cut True-Name before I cut Bedlam. And this is why that game was a good example of why, like, people just say, like, you play the Force deck to like, be good against the combo decks automatically. Like, sometimes you just keep a reasonable hand game one in your Force deck and just, like, just die, right? Like, you can't have Force in every hand. Go Island, Delver, go. What is Fortnite? What is Fortnite? Somebody use your words. Tell me so I understand. I forgot to board in my Deathrite Shamans. Unmask targeting me. Alright, yep. You know, this too. I kept a hand with Surgical Extraction. We could die in the first turn of the game. Third person shooter, gross. Hey, Naya5102 with the brand new $4.99 a month subscription. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Oh yeah, unmask yourself, sure. Yeah, land, Gristlebrand, reanimate, sure. Sure, yeah. Alright, I mean, we could draw Vapor Snag, I suppose. I fold my jeans. I used to fold all of my clothes once upon a time, but then I got married and my wife started doing it. My wife started hanging up all my wife insists that we hang all of the t-shirts on hangers, which I think is a waste of time, but you know, whatever. I just do what I'm told. A match like this makes me wish that does make me wish I had a second Vapor Snag in my deck. Alright, you know, quick 0-2 loss to what's probably a good matchup. I mean, we have Daze, we have Force, we have Surgical. Sometimes they just, you know, unmask into turn 1 you. The Black-Red Reanimator deck's very good when you're running hot. Yeah, pick your battles. The things you actually don't give a shit about, don't argue about. If it is important that we hang t-shirts we shall. Say plot similar to Hunger Games. Cute. Third person shooters are I like first person shooters. Yep, that's a great way to summarize it. Man, why couldn't we have this hand against the Reanimator deck? The Force Daze hand. The Force Daze hand. Oh, good. Now we have the Force Daze hand against a deck it's terrible against. This fucking snippet thing. Magic Online is such garbage. Why can't you put these cards in the revealed zone, Magic Online? Please, I'm begging you. Why haven't I pinned it to the taskbar? That's a good question. That's a good question. How do I pin something to the taskbar? I can't just right-click on it on my taskbar? That's not an option. Do I do it from this menu? This operating system. Pin to taskbar. Look at that. Look at that. I did it. I did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Hooray. Not having a threat on one is going to be pretty bad for us here. No. No, of course not. No, I don't think I want to counter this. I know they have a Ponder as well. If they only had one cantrip, I'd counter it. Like, if they shuffle here and then Ponder next turn before playing a land, I'll Daze that Ponder, but I don't think I want to Daze this first one. Windows key S. That's good to know. They did shuffle. Okay, so if they Ponder next turn before playing a land, I will definitely Daze the Ponder. Looking to draw cantrips or threats here, which, you know, we have a lot of those two things. Sure. I actually hadn't realized how much of my normal workflow that I do on, or that, like, how much of my workflow that I use on Linux, like, just isn't possible on other operating systems, just like, because I only use Linux for a decade, and it's just like, oh, that's actually just not a thing I'm able to do here without making a lot of, some of it you just can't do at all, and some of it you just have to do a lot of work to make happen, and it's just like, this is really annoying. Alright, I mean, I guess I'm just going to take this Swiftspear and start attacking them, right? Do people who aren't tech grow up with Linux? I mean, there's some people that grow up with OS X, right? I'm on Windows now because the NVIDIA NVENC drivers that allow my graphics card to encode video streams aren't as good on Linux, so my computer lags while encoding 1440p video and streaming 1080p video simultaneously. No, I'm actually streaming from native Windows right now because the drivers allow my same hardware to. I could just get a faster processor at some point, or a faster graphics card actually, but the graphics cards are really inflated right now in terms of price, and I just didn't want to spend the money on it. We're pretty dead here. Just drawn a bunch of land, and we have a bunch of cards that just like aren't good in this matchup. I mean, to be fair, like, if you don't have an operating specific application that you need, like something like those drivers that I talked about for encoding things better, by and large, for most people, a computer is just a window to, it's just a function to open. God, this matchup, we don't have any good cards for this matchup, do we? I guess I'm leaving some Force and some Dazes in. Like, Price is bad, Force is bad, Daze is bad. I don't want Smash, I don't want, maybe Vapor Snag is fine, just because it can save one of my creatures. Sorry, back to my computer rant. By and large, computers are just windows to the internet for people. So if you're like a typical user where all you do is like use Facebook and things inside of Google Chrome, like, Linux is much better than Windows for you, assuming Linux will run on your hardware. Linux is not going to give you a lot of the issues that can occur on Windows, especially related to like malware and malicious software. Like, Linux has such a small market share that a lot of the malware that's out there can't be installed on it. Yep, that's exactly it. Like, and a lot of people, like the people that use the computer past the internet, a lot of them are like, need like just to play videos. right? Like, if you need specific software, well, so there are, like, and it happens less and less nowadays, but, like, for instance, there's older hardware that, like, wireless cards or specific printers that only have proprietary drivers don't run on that. Yeah, Chrome OS is a great example, and Chrome OS is just Arch Linux with a web browser stapled over the top of it. Like, Google just took the idea of what we need to an extreme. This is my Delver. This matchup's probably bad for us. Whoa, we're forcing my Delver. They have back to basics in their deck. Do they think we're Grixis Delver? That's good to know about, I guess. I'll fetch around that, I suppose. What are my PC specs? I have an i7 4790K as a processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA 1060 for a graphics card. I never intended to do anything 3D on my computer. Like, that was too extreme, like more than like Skyrim, so I didn't pony up for a high generation graphics card. True-Name's not a flip, but it's a pretty good draw. I'll smack them with this Delver. Yeah, on the software side, I do a lot of stuff involving virtual machines for some of the open source development work that I do, so having a lot of memory is useful for running a lot of virtual machines. It's the same reason I have an i7 processor. Yep. If these Delvers flip, we could have a real chance this game. If they don't flip this turn, we're probably going to be in trouble. Yeah, my computer's very reasonable. Just the worst luck tonight. Alright. Well. Why are we playing Wandering One? Doo-da, doo-da. Why are we playing Wandering One? Oh, the doo-da day. What? Hey, McCarlin with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna do this now. There's a 1-mana spell on top of their deck. God bless. All right. Let's try and win the last one, I guess. I guess I should have. That was a tilt concede just between the Ghostly Prison. So I couldn't attack with both the Delvers anyways. So I should have cracked the fetch and tried to flip the other Delver since I could only attack with one of them anyways. I should have. That was a tilt concede. It's just like a lot went wrong there. It's fine. We all knew we were going to shuffle and find another land, right? That's why. Hopefully Matt's watching and he understands why I can't register Delver Secrets at the open. Hopefully we just draw a red source naturally and just get to go Swiftspear here and just continue the beatdowns. If we miss on a land, we'll cast the Ponder and try and dig for it. Basic Swamp Thoughtseize, sure. I don't know. Magic. I haven't really liked any of these decks that we've played so far. Why Spear before Delver? Because I probably need to Ponder next turn to find... God, are they a combo deck? They could be playing, like, Turbo Depths or something like that. It's probably Turbo Depths. I probably want to play this now so I can flip it to chump block a Dark Depths token for a turn potentially down the line. Polluted Delta. Could just be a random black fetch. God, that's gross. Alright, well that makes our... So not depths, I don't think. I mean, sure. Yeah, are they dead? It's like almost dead, right? This 5, 9, 10, 11. Do I just blast them? Who wants to blast them? So the problem with waiting is that if they play a discard spell, I want to blast them, and I miss out on 2 damage if that happens. So this way they have to kill 2 of my creatures, right? They have to kill 2 of my creatures. Yeah, exactly. Like the discard makes me want to get them. I don't actually know what they're doing. I feel like they're a fair deck because of the card. I guess I could cut these Price of Progresses just because they fetch basic Swamp instinctually. There's also just like an inclination to just click Submit here. I guess I could hedge them being a Dark Depths based deck by like boarding in this Vapor Snag. And I'll just like bring in the Grim Lavamancer. I guess I could bring in the Flusterstorm because it counters their Hymn to Torox and stuff. You think it's Jund? It could be Jund. Jund's definitely a deck it could be. If they're Jund, I don't mind these Blood Moons too much. And price is pretty good. I'm going to bring in the Grim Lavamancer instead of the Flusterstorm. We'll see what they are. If they're Jund, we'll reassess on the play. Maybe bring the prices back in. Yeah, they could be a lot of different things. The fact that they didn't fetch blue lands makes me think that they're not a 4-color control deck. Usually they'll have a blue land in their first 2. And our opponent went Swamp into Bayou, and they had a fetch land, so those weren't just like the lands they naturally had in their hands. This hand seems pretty mediocre, right? I just kind of want to throw it on one. Daze is a nice card for them to not know about when they thought sees us on one. Would you accept donations to play Legacy Cube? No, I don't think so, Ectomaniac. It would have to be some obnoxiously large donation, probably in the 3 digits, just because, like, they are... What? I don't understand. I don't understand, sure. Alright, I guess this is a Blood Moon Price of Progress matchup. Joke's on me, I think. I think a joke's been had on me. I'm not sure how I feel. There's just so many people that all they do is cube, and like I've got so many donation decks in the queue to like play Modern and Legacy that we're mostly going to focus on those 2. More Modern than anything, really. Modern's super popular. Like, the number of people we have watching right now compared to the number of people I had watching last night when we were playing Modern is like half the amount. What a fucking tilt. Your Spirit's donation did go through. If you look, you're in the donation queue there for Modern. You're towards the top. Alright, I guess I'm playing this Brainstorm to start. Looking for a 1-mana threat. Yeah, honestly, I kind of like Modern more as a format than Legacy right now. There's more... The best way I can describe the difference between Modern and Legacy right now is that the 10th best Modern deck is much closer in power level to the first best Modern deck than the 10th best Legacy deck is to the first best Legacy deck. There is a larger power level discrepancy between the worst decks in the format and the best decks in the format. Yeah, they're definitely playing 4-color pile at this point. 10 out of 10. Like, the fixing is so good in Legacy, especially with Deathrite Shaman, that, like, in terms of the fair decks that you can mostly play, like, the decks that are good play this, like, really big concentration of good cards, and they share a lot of overlapping cards. They're not that, there's not that much variation in strategies. So the decisions that go into games of Legacy are different than Modern. So Legacy generates a lot of games where your sequencing decisions matter. Like, in Legacy, you're often playing your 1-mana card on 1, and then you have to choose between, like, your 2 different 1-mana cards on 2. Whereas in Modern, there's a lot more that goes into how you're sideboarding and how you're mulliganing, because you don't have a lot of those card selection tools that we have in Legacy. I think no ban list Modern sounds super miserable. I think one of Modern's biggest problems is that not enough cards are banned, not that we need to unban everything. I have zero desire to play no ban list Modern. Alright, well, cantrips are exactly what I'm looking to draw here, so we can fuel this Bedlam Reveler. Force of Will, Big Fish, K commands. They can actually Big Fish us. They could have Big Fished me last turn, but they attacked with... That seems like a pretty big mistake. That seems like a pretty big mistake. They could have Big Fished me. Hey, Tribladge with that brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. Am I conceding yet? I have 1, 2, 3. I guess I have 4 things in here. Really wish we would have hit a cantrip or a blue card there, so that way we could either play this Force or keep putting more cards in my discard pile to work towards this Bedlam Reveler. I think the Bedlam's just going to be a touch too slow here without it. Jace doesn't go off. Jace isn't a card that wins the game when you play it. Jace is this slow, clunky planeswalker that barely impacts the board the turn you play it. We are 2-2, Petehead. Lost to Red Black Reanimator having the nuts 2 games in a row, and then Tilt conceded to Miracles. We're going to be playing Modern all day tomorrow and probably most of the week. I'm theoretically supposed to be... Yeah, we're just pretty dead here. I'm supposed to be playing Legacy for my team at the Cincinnati Open. So I'm trying to find a deck I can play for that, but just like all of these decks just feel really bad. Every deck I find that feels sweet, it just like ends up being really not sweet. This is definitely a Hydroblast matchup. Is it a Pyroblast matchup too? Probably. That's actually pretty easy in, easy out, right? Like I just cut all my things and then boarded all of these in. So that seems reasonable. I don't think I want any of these other cards. The problem with Grixis Delver is that the mirror is just super miserable. I just really, really don't enjoy the mirror match. Honestly, the Stoneblade deck is probably what I'll play. It's probably what I'll play. That's fine. Seems okay. It's like not super exciting, but it's fine. I just like if you asked me how many mirrors I was gonna expect to play if I played Grixis Delver, I'd probably set the line at 3 to 4, and like playing 3 to 4 coin flip Stone Raid mirror matches just sounds like, why am I even going? Like it doesn't sound like it'll be fun. So like Magic doesn't pay enough money where if you're not having fun you should continue playing it. So it's like, well, if I'm not having fun, I'd like rather not go. So I'm like trying to find a deck that I'd enjoy playing. Because, like, honestly, if I'm not going to enjoy the deck I'm playing in a tournament, I should just not go to that tournament. Like, I mean, we'll make way more money staying home streaming Modern for a weekend than I would playing a deck that I don't enjoy. Am I supposed to be aggressive with this Brainstorm and flip this Delver? I think so. I think this is we're a burn deck, right? Like, in non-burn decks, you don't aggressively do this a lot of the time, but in a deck like this, you certainly do. Sweet. We don't want another Bedlam Reveler, so I'm going to shuffle that away. I'm going to flip to Gitaxian Probe, so we give away very little information here. I'm going to go ahead and crack this fetch before we probe. No, Omnitel is really bad against Grixis. Most all of the combo decks are failed against Grixis Delver. I don't really want to play a complicated and intricate combo deck like Food Chain because I just genuinely don't have enough time to learn to play it efficiently before the tournament. Because my teammates are locked into playing Modern and Standard. Neither of them are interested in learning to play Legacy. Like, Matt might play Legacy. Elves is really clunky and awkward. Elves loses to itself a good deal of the time. It really sucks that they have a Force of Will here. Okay, I'm just shuffling these, I think. I guess they have Baleful Strix on top. I kind of need a way to cut through that. I'm just going to shuffle this. Hey, Cairns with the 3-month $4.99 resubscription. Thanks a lot and welcome back. Yeah, but Maddie, neither of us want to play Standard. Standard sounds awful. I'll get less viewers streaming Standard than I do streaming Legacy. And streaming Legacy is already a hit on viewers. Hi, wifey. You going to bed? I'm being assaulted by a sweatshirt monster. Somebody send help. What do they have? So they have one card we don't know. They're just like holding up a Flusterstorm here? That's so weird to me. Alright, what do you have, opponent? What did we draw? Yeah, we're just holding up Flusterstorm instead of playing the Baleful. I guess they're playing around Daze. That makes sense, I suppose. What did they draw here? I guess I'm just gonna take a new picture. Oh, they drew another Polluted Delta, so their hand's actually exactly the same. Hand is actually exactly the same. Okay, so I know they have Force. I actually don't have Forces of my own in my deck right now, right? Yeah, I boarded them out. I don't have Dazes in my deck either. So I suppose I'm going to lead on Brainstorm or Ponder here. This Vapor Snag's pretty bad, so I guess I'll lead on Brainstorm. Perfect. All right, so I'll throw back Vapor Snag and Island, and then we'll crack this fetch for a basic island. And then we'll continue. I guess I need another. I have 1, 2, 3. I guess I need to get more cards in my hand before I cast this Bedlam Reveler anyways. Hey, Jenkins, with that brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I do appreciate that. Okay, sweet. So this is actually pretty perfect here. I get to go ahead and stack this, so I get to draw the Pyroblast here. Maybe I should have drawn the Volk. But, like, next turn, I get to play the Blood Moon with Pyroblast up, potentially. But I guess they're going to probably have Flusterstorm up next turn, which sucks. Can you stop it? My wife is so obnoxious. Somebody send help. Help! Help! Yeah, these are probably going to fetch basics, which makes this Blood Moon worse. Alright, so I'm going to blast this. So, people don't understand that beating Grixis Delver, like, again, Grixis Delver is not the end-all, be-all of the format. People play other Magic decks. So, like, just because you can beat Grixis Delver doesn't mean you're going to be better than Grixis Delver against the field. Hey! X Karma Nova X with the $30 donation. Thank you very much. I'm going to load my Streamlabs page. You're such a creep. Trying to get ready for Dallas. I think you'll like this one. Thank you for the donation with the extra in there. Help in the form of bits. Thanks, Bracket Sky. Alright, so now that they fetched a non-basic here, here's an interesting question. Do I want to stick the True-Name here, hoping they'll force it? I guess I'm going to lead on the Bolt and see what they do.
What if everybody did play the same deck?
Then you could play a deck that beat it, but that's not how Magic works.
No, but what if everybody was required to play the same deck?
That would be really boring and Magic would fail.
What if Magic only had one deck?
Whoa! Okay. They just forced pitching Snapcaster Mage. So that means this Blood Moon gets to resolve? You have another force? That's tasty, chat. That's tasty.
Oh, I tasty kiss.
That's all right.
Which one was tastier?
Oh, baby. I don't know. This Blood Moon was pretty good. And then there's Chain Lightning on top of our deck too, actually, right? So I get to kill this now. I believe there's a Chain Lightning. Go me. I actually just want to kill the Deathrite Shaman, right? Because it gives them mana of any color. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Chat. Oh, no. Oh, Christy, no. I need you to go away.
I didn't
I'm
do
so,
anything.
it's, oh, no.
It's not my fault.
Oh, chat. Oh, chat, I was distracted and we got chained back.
You can't blame your shitty playing on me.
I totally can blame my shitty
can't.
playing on you. Oh, I was distracted. It's fine. We're probably going to win anyways because this true name is fucked, but probably going to win. I have Treasure Cruise on I should have attacked first there so they traded. I should have attacked first because they'd trade and then they'd just 3 me upstairs. Swiftspear. Alright, I'm just going to smash with that. Alright. Well, we win in the race.
Get good, scrub.
Get good, scrub. Honey, there are literally tens of tickets riding on this match. This game, even.
Oh, no.
Tens of tickets. Do you not understand the gravity of the situation?
Declan's not going to be able to eat.
Oh, no. Look, if I win the game, Declan gets to eat.
Poor Declan. He's such a hungry kid.
Alright. Let's go, Taylor. Beep, beep. Yay! We're the winner!
Oh, Declan gets to have dinner?
Our opponent's mistake was greater than our mistake. Our opponent forced a lightning bolt on their 1/1. I kind of like this deck.
As kiss, I go bye-bye.
Love you. When I built this deck, I was just kind of like putting cards in my deck editor that I liked and that are like aggressive and like, you know, blue-red cards. So one of the matches we lost, I definitely conceded a little bit early, but I think we were probably a dog in that matchup anyways. The Blue-White Miracles matchup, like the deck that Jim Davis top 8 of the Open with, I don't really have a good plan in my sideboard for like interacting with that deck and having a chance to beat it. So I think if I was going to play this deck again, I'm not even sure offhand like what a good plan for beating them looks like. I think they're just probably pretty well lined up against the cards we're trying to play in our deck. So I'd have to think on that a little bit. Maybe it starts with a third Pyroblast or something like that. Sulfuric Vortex. That's a really good one, actually. Sulfuric Vortex seems sweet. That's a card I'd be interested in trying. That's one of Burns' better cards in that matchup. Exquisite Firecraft. Yeah, if Sulfuric Vortex seems like it might be something worth trying. I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to like go through my list of ins and outs to figure out like what matches I could afford to cut extra cards for. But like, I think that's the one place like the Reanimator matchup that we lost was just like bad beats. Like they had the nuts 2 games in a row and we died. So that happens. But the Miracles matchup, I felt like I didn't have the tools to beat the cards that they were playing, and that's definitely something I would want to address if I was playing more of this deck. So I thought about playing Goblin Guide, but I settled on playing more copies of Daze just so I could be a little bit disruptive. I'm not sure that I want to go down to less counter magic than this, but we could definitely support playing fewer blue cards. Like if I cut these Dazes, we could play something else here and we still have 22 blue cards. So I think if you wanted to be even more aggressive than this deck already is, you could trim these Dazes for an additional 1-drop like Goblin Guide. We played Stormchaser Mage when we played this deck for the first time the other night, and Stormchaser Mage just wasn't particularly impressive. It was okay, but it was just like nothing to write home about. I was pretty happy with the inclusion of True-Name Nemesis this evening. This card's just like, this is just a good fucking Magic card, right? Just like, this card is very good in the matches where it's good. No, this is gonna be my only league for the evening. I'll be, Snapcaster Mage is a nice one. Bolt, Snap, Bolt 94, like Snapcaster Mages in this deck. Yep, that math checks out. I think Cryptic Serpent is just worse than this card. The White Ninja 62 with the brand new Twitch Prime support. Thank you very much and welcome. I appreciate that. Subscriptions, as always, are the best way you can support what I do here, so I appreciate that support. Yeah, so if I was looking to tweak slots in the main deck, I think Daze is where I would start. Turning Daze into a card like Snapcaster Mage, or even maybe a main deck Sulfuric Vortex or another True Name, like this is a slot, like this card's not very good against Miracles, and turning it into more threats is kind of appealing. And like Snapcaster Mage is like more burn spells too, right? So, you ever snap price lands? Well, usually the first price kills lands, right? So like snap pricing lands is like... Yeah, True Name. True Name is much better. 2 snaps and a Vortex seems like it could be okay. I agree. It gives you like more bolts. Like playing 8 lightning bolts is pretty sweet. It's a ton of reach and it allows you to kill a lot of the small creature decks. Like I said, when I think about the board, I think I definitely like the idea of playing some Sulfuric Vortexes in here, maybe a 3rd Pyroblast just to like really have a lot of angle of attack against the Miracles deck. At any rate, thank you everyone for watching. I was just planning to do one league tonight anyway, so I figured I might as well stream it. I'll be live again tomorrow afternoon, starting a little bit after 3 p.m., and I'm planning to do a longer stream. We're going to go from 3 o'clock till about 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow night. I think we're planning to play a bunch of Modern, but we'll be back to Legacy probably on Wednesday or Thursday for someone that's only into Legacy. Also remember my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. You can find hours and days worth of Legacy content on there, including a league we played with a deck very close to this earlier this week, or late last week, I guess. Null Rod is actually a card. I really like this card in Delver sideboards. Null Rod is a card that hoses Stoneforge Mystic decks like Umezawa's Jite and Batterskull. It's very good against Death and Taxes. And this is a piece of permanent base disruption against Storm because it turns off their Lion's Eye Diamonds and their Lotus Petals. So I think if you're playing a Delver deck, you should have 1 copy of this card in your 75, especially a Delver burn deck where we really don't want them to activate Umezawa's Jite. All right, I'm actually leaving now. Peace, folks. See y'all tomorrow, hopefully. Everyone have a good start to your week.